All right, hey AP Bio students, welcome to Thursday, May 7th, 2020. Two classes left, today and Wednesday, and then your AP test on Monday the 19th. And that's the purpose of this video, to walk you through a little bit of the AP exam student resources that has now been put on every AP class web page or module somewhere in Canvas. Your AP teachers will put the student resources. So I want to walk you through some of this and recommend some things to you. First, I'm not going to go through all of this because there's a lot of information, but I do highly recommend that you do go through everything on this student resources page. And the nice thing is, if you do it for my class or if you've already done it for another class, you only have to do it once. So, the testing guide is a 51-page PowerPoint, basically, and essentially, I'm not going to go through all 51 pages, but you'll get your, if you go through this, when you go through this, you'll get your AP exam e-ticket information, 5 steps to take before exam day, what happens on exam day, and then scores, credit, and placement. And again, I highly recommend that you go through this. From what I've heard, we've been told you should have maybe received an email on Monday giving you information. If you did not receive an email on Monday, that means that your email is not properly set up. So let me know if you did not receive an email this past Monday, May 3rd. May 3rd. The rules. So this is just a 4-minute video on, actually, I don't know how long it is. It's 1 minute. You can take your AP exam. So, long story short, it's basically an open book, open note, open internet test. However, they will be using software to check for plagiarism. So you cannot one bit copy and paste answers from websites because they will be checking for that, and that will obviously lead to a no score on the test, and it will be put into your file that you cheated, plagiarized on an AP test. So be aware, no copy and pasting of anything. Your answers should obviously come from your own brains. The exam walkthrough is 4 minutes long. I'm not going to play that, but I highly recommend you watch that. Testing demo. Now, testing demo, you should do this. We're saying that every AP student at Yorktown should do the testing demo ahead of time, just so you're ready. So I've done a little bit of this already. For this page, all you have to do is type in the word practice, continue. You'll sign up with your name and all of your AP information. Then you'll have to wait 5 minutes to get into the testing demo, and then you can kind of see what your test will look like. And we will again have a 2-question test, which I'll get to here in a second. Submission guidelines. For us, I'm just going to tell you right now, I would highly recommend that you type your answer in a Word file, a Google file. I would not recommend writing it out on paper with a pen or a pencil, because what we're hearing is that if you do that, you'll have to take pictures of your paper, and that wastes anywhere from 3 to 4 minutes of the time you have to answer the question. Whereas if you use Word or Google, you can immediately copy and paste your answer directly into the section of the test where you put your answer. So again, I would highly recommend you do that. Copy and paste your answer from Word or whatever program you want to use. Using resources, as I already said, open book, open note. They'll probably make it difficult because of that. We've already been preparing for the exam. More materials aren't always better, so I don't know that you need to have a huge amount of stuff out, ready to go. Maybe have your book ready. Maybe have your class notebook that you should hopefully have with you from both semesters. You should not copy responses from notes or resources. So, again, you should use your own words, and plagiarism would be a no-no. Your class notes are better than internet searches. Collaborating with others is not considered acceptable. So, um, you should not obviously be texting amongst yourselves what to do on the test because that will put everyone at risk. Exam day checklist for Yorktown is so you probably should have this out in front of you, ready to go. If you have no ability to print, right now you can go to the high school and there is a plastic container with this information in it. You can just drive by there and pick it up if you don't have any ability to print. I believe it's around door 6, but if you drive around the school, you'll be able to see it somewhere at one of the doors sitting outside the school. Course specific references and guides. So, again, highly recommend that you print this off. And this is for AP Biology. And these are all the equations you could use for the AP Biology test. I don't know that you would have to use, like I've hardly ever seen some of these things ever used on the AP Biology test. It's just a resource. So they go above and beyond when they give you these resources in the past. I have seen some average questions, so you know how to do average. You don't have to worry about that craziness. Chi-square has been on some previous tests. I've not seen standard deviation or standard error of the mean ever on an AP test. Laws of probability go straight into our laws of probability for genetics, which have been on previous tests. Hardy-Weinberg has been on previous tests. I haven't seen much with metrics. These statistical things I've not seen too often or ever on an AP biology test. Rate and growth. We did not really go through the calculus side of this, but we did definitely talk about exponential versus logistic early on in our first unit of the year. Ecology. Water potential we just got finished talking about with review question number 2. The solute potential of a solution we just got finished talking about. pH, you should know. Simpson's diversity index, never seen it on an AP test. And then down here, surface area and volume. I have seen on some questions involving diffusion and or osmosis. So in terms of increasing cell size, why aren't cells super huge? And oftentimes the answer would rely on an increase in the surface area of the cell and an increase in the volume of the cell makes it impossible for diffusion and osmosis to occur. But anyway, you should have this printed off and in front of you for the test. And if you don't have an ability to print, this sheet will also be in the plastic tub at the high school. So go pick that up if you don't have a printer. Let me go back. Required and recommended resource lists. So again, everything you should have ready to go on exam day, and really 30 minutes before the exam starts. So starting at 1:30, you should be ready to go with all of these things. Biology, the only thing we need is AP Bio equations and formula sheet. I just talked about that from this list. Your exam ticket, your checklist, a charged device, an alarm clock to make sure you're ready to go at 1:30 next Monday. And then the last thing I wanted to point you to is, and I'll put a link to this page, just some reminders that we have a 2-question test. Question 1 will be 25 minutes. Question 2 will be 15 minutes, and they are both FRQs. Question 1 will be much more elaborate than question 2. Sorry, my phone's ringing in the background. But anyway, question 1 will be your long question. You only have 25 minutes to do it, and they're going to probably try to overwhelm you with 10 to 12 different parts or questions to answer. What we are being told is you need to try to answer every one of those parts. However, answering all those parts or not answering a part, you could still get a 5 on the test if you don't answer one of the parts of question number 1. So definitely answer everyone that you know, then answer as many as you can in that 25 minutes. Question 2 will be much shorter, and I have some proof of this, where question 1, here's just a sample question showing a little scientific biology question about mosquitoes and malaria and insecticides and a mutation causing some of the mosquitoes to be resistant to the insecticide. So there are going to be on this first, and this will be, again, a 25-minute question plus 5 minutes to submit. So they have figure 1, then they have figure 2, then they have table 1, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 questions attached to this overall situation. And you can see, describe the most likely cause, explain, identify, justify, describe, calculate, predict, and provide evidence. So if you've really been watching those review videos in depth, these are all words that the presenters have talked about in every single video. And again, 25 minutes to answer those questions. Seems overwhelming, I know. I understand. But I think you guys will be prepared to answer a majority of the parts to question 1. Even though it will seem like it's not doable, I have confidence that you'll be fine. Question 2, they don't have an example question 2. All they say is that it could be like 3 different parts, very similar to the review questions that we've had over the last 6 class periods, where you'll have to describe and explain a concept, predict the causes or effects of a change, and support claims and or justify predictions. So it could be like that enzyme question that we did. It could be like the metabolism and cell respiration question. So I think you'll be prepared for that one. And question 2 will be a 6-point question. You'll only have 15 minutes to do that one. And again, copying, pasting from a Word document or a Google document would be great. There's a lot more we could go over. I don't want to bog you down with this, and refer to this page in the module for the next week and a half. Good luck, and I'll talk to you guys later.